guys, so today we're going to be making a Colt. You guys really liked the cross that we did on Thursday, so we're gonna start just making a little strip of paper. You can have any piece of paper. I had pieces of paper from the printer and I also had some cardstock, so I'm gonna be using both so that you guys can see the whole activity and it's not all one color. But you should be using all the same size. So again, we're just gonna need paper and some scissors. You've got to just cut a small strip of paper down the long side of the paper so that we can get the longest part. If you have bigger poster paper or cardstock paper that's longer, obviously that would be more beneficial. We need to make 4 strips of paper. We're gonna try to make them the same size, so try your best to put them next to the paper on the edge and to cut through. Have your parents help you cut through the paper. Now we have 2 strips of paper. I'm gonna cut through the white, but you guys gotta continue doing 2 more with whatever paper that you have. So we're gonna get that going. And I'm just going to do the same size again. Obviously I'll cut on this side. I've been cutting the wrong side from the other time. So now I have my 2 pieces of paper, and now it's all 4 strips. I have 2 green and 2 white, just so that, again, I need to make it clear for you guys. Now we're gonna put the scissors on the side and we don't need the paper anymore. And we're gonna get started on making our Colt. So we're gonna need the 2 pieces of paper. We gotta put 1 piece under and 1 piece on the top, just like this, in like a shape of an X. Again, so we're just gonna do under, over, and what we're gonna have to try to do is bend it over that way, just so that it meets the edge of the other strip and it makes a small square. So you want to fit it just enough. You don't want to have a lot of more paper, just so that it closes up really nicely. So I'm doing it a few times for you guys to see. And then we're gonna take the opposite side, and fold it over, and then the other side and fold it over the other way. Just like that. And so we're gonna make an L shape. And then we turn it over. This side, we gotta remember what the last one we folded in, and we gotta note it because that's the side we're gonna be using. When we flip it over, we've made like this little pocket shape. And if you can see, there's like a little strip that we can put our strip through. So a little opening. So we're gonna try to take that end of that last piece that we folded and put it through in that little opening so that we can close it up. So in that little pocket, we're gonna try to just push it through, and they'll come on the other side, and then we just pull. It'll make a small shape. Yeah, it'll be weird at first, but just hold on to that part, and then we'll just pull all the way through. This way you have the start of your Colt, and all the pieces are held together and it's not going anywhere. So we're gonna do the same thing for the 2 other pieces. I hope that you guys were attentive enough so that we're gonna do it really quick, and I'll skip right through. So again, we go bottom and then over in an X shape, and then we'll fold so that just enough the one edge meets the other edge. And I've skipped through, but this is what you're going to be getting, just so that we can move along. And so now we have our 2 pieces of paper. These are going to be what we need for today, and you can start with this activity for whenever you need something. It'll be the back of the Colt, as you can see, and we're going to need the scissors again to make the strips. So what we're going to have to do is just cut halfway through, and you can do it with 2 strips or 4 strips. I'm going to try to do it with 4 strips just so that it's the more harder one. And then we keep cutting through halves and halves, and we're going to do the same for all of them. So now I have all of my strips cut up. Now we're not going to need the scissors anymore, so those we can put on the side completely. We're not going to need them except for the very end. So now I have my 4 strips on every side, my 4 strips on my paper. And again, I'm only using white and green so that you guys can see what I'm doing. So now we're going to start doing the weaving. That's going to be the exact same activity that we do throughout the whole quilt. And what you gotta do is you gotta go over or under, and I'm just gonna start over just so that it's easier to see. And we're gonna have to take every strip and just go over and then under and then over again and then under. With paper, it's gonna be a bit difficult, so just be careful and be gentle with it. We obviously don't want to be rushed, so that we can get the results that we need. And we're just going to keep going, doing the same thing for all the strips. So if we've gone over, we go under, and then over again, and then under, over, under, and then over, and then we do the opposite, just so that it makes a weaving shape and it all is held together. So now we want to put it all the way through, and whenever we're cutting we want to do it, but don't stretch it too much or else this will happen. We don't want it to break, so just be gentle. I've made a new one. I didn't think it would break, but now we have ours, and we can keep going. If it doesn't reach the very end, that's fine. We have paper, we don't have actual palms, so we can only do whatever we can. So we're gonna first start with the first strip on the side. We're gonna try to make it all on the side so we can make the back so it's straight. And then we're gonna end up with the head on the other end. So we're gonna start with under, or you can start with over. Just remember to do the opposite side on the next strip of paper. So under, and then over, and then under, over, under, over, and then under again. And you can sort of press on the end so it's not too loose and it just stays in place, and it folds in, and then we do the rest. So on that second part, we're just going to leave the second piece so it can be the tail, and then we're just going to skip through. You want to go this way, not the other way, just so that it holds on, because otherwise it'll mess up. So we're just going to do the exact same thing over, under, and we're going to do it all the way through on the side. Until we reach the last 2. We're going to leave the last 2 the way that they are, because these are going to be our legs. And then we're going to try to do the exact same thing on this side to make the bottom of the donkey and go straight and eventually be able to go up. So we're going to start the exact same thing, but now we're going to try to make sure that whenever we're folding, our fold is over first and then under. See, like just like that, so that the leg isn't too loose and is sort of held by the rest of it. And we're gonna have to have all the strips go up that way. I'm gonna do the first one, and you guys should have it down by now. So it's gonna get a bit tricky in this stage, just because there's gonna be a lot of strips to go through. So make sure to go slowly and be gentle with the paper. I've been using cardstock and paper, so it hasn't been too bad, because cardstock at least holds itself together a bit. But with paper, it's going to be a bit difficult. So just make sure to be patient with it. And you're gonna see that when I bend it, there's like this little gap in the middle. That's okay, as long as just keep going. I know that there's like a mistake, it didn't go under or something in one of them, but it's okay, just keep going. If you've missed one, it's fine. And just make sure that if the strips are getting too like together, then just take your time to put them all out. And now I'm done the bottom, and we're again, just like the last time, we're going to leave the last two as the legs, and we're going to keep going so that we can now make the chest of the donkey and all go up, and eventually reach the head. So we're going to again go through the same exact steps as we did from before, and it's going to be pretty simple. So we're going to have all of our strips there, and we're going to bend out first, so it's over first, and then under so that our legs aren't loose, okay? And then under, over, under, over. I'm sorry guys, I'm getting a bit mixed up with the paper, but over, under, over, under. It can get really tricky, so sometimes because the paper is like on its own, I try to press down on it again so it's folded and it goes like that. So as you can see, I've done all of them except for the last three. On this one you can see that I've done the first two, like the last two, but then we're gonna just keep going in and leaving those last two to be the ears. Don't cut anything like the legs or the ears or the tail out now, just so that at the end we can do them as proportioned so that they look like it's a donkey. It's not too long or too short, so he doesn't look like a dog or a giraffe. Okay. So we're gonna keep going. Now we're shaping the head, and we're just gonna keep going. But here my paper wasn't too long, so if that happens to you, just get some tape and try to tape down the little strips. It won't really do too much harm, and then we can keep going. So that's the last part, and we're gonna be left with some 3 strips, and we're gonna have to close it. It's sort of the mouth, and these are gonna be a bit tricky just because now we're gonna want to close up our donkey. So we're gonna try to find some space so that it folds in a way that seems like it's normal. I'm trying to fold that in, but I think I'm gonna just cut this piece out. We're trying to bring that in so we can weave it in one of the other openings of the donkey, and later we'll cut it, and then that I'll weave in the other way too to close it up, and I can put it through any of the openings that fit. Some of them weren't, so it's okay. I'll just squeeze it in through one of the other openings, and then we can do the exact same thing. I'm gonna cut that over there, try to cut it a bit smaller so it looks like it's a piece of the weaving, and just stick it in so that I'm sure that it's not gonna come out. Tape is gonna be your best friend at this point. If it's not going into any of the openings, just make sure that to fold it in like that. So it's, yeah, I've given up, so I'm just taping in through all of it, just so that you guys can see the end product. And we've now made our donkey. So now we can cut through our tail. We can fold it upwards so it looks fancy, and then we can do the ears and both legs. I'm gonna do them a bit longer because I like my donkey to have really nice legs. And there we have it. So this is our Colt. Happy Palm Sunday, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. And remember, Jesus came for us, so let's be happy to receive him today. And yeah, and you can decorate your donkey. I just got a Sharpie, made him some eyes, and like a nice smile. Handsome donkey, very kind. I'm trying to make a nose, but that's not very successful. But you guys know, you get the idea. Yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you next year.